What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Vick aka Timeless Vick. That picture right there is pretty much the finished product of the cut. And now we're gonna go ahead and get into it. First, I'm gonna start off by combing the hair out, trying to find the basic wave pattern of the hair. And this is a part that you really want to make sure that you take your time on. Barbers a lot of times rush through this part and just grab the clippers and start taking the hair down. And that's where they mess up. You want to make sure that you really comb the hair out, spend your time doing this, because if you do, the haircut will go a lot more smoothly. And if you don't, it could turn out to be a nightmare. So yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this for a couple more minutes, making sure that I have it all combed out properly. And after this, I'll go ahead and get into the next step, which will be taking the hair down. So I have a 1.5 plastic wall guard on my Wall 5-star Senior cordless clipper, and I'm pretty much just following the wave pattern, making sure that everything is flowing perfectly. If my client's waves are not really like set in stone, like really there, then I usually start off with a larger guard in the crown area, which I'm doing here, because the rest of the haircut's going to be cut down with a number 1 all the way open. And then certain parts where the waves are really tight, I'll even close it down to a 1 in certain areas. So it all depends. So you got to be able to kind of judge that. That's going to be on you guys to judge. In the beginning, I would say just keep it one length all the way around. And then as you progress, then you can go ahead and get a little more fancy with it and start to cut certain areas by your professional judgment that need to be cut a little bit lower and whatnot like that. So make sure that you are using a larger guard in the crown area always. As far as switching up and going from higher to lower and the rest of the head, on the rest of the head, that's a different story. But always you're going to be using 2 different guards, a larger guard in the crown all the way up to a 2, depending on how high the waves on the client's hair go up, how thick they are. All that stuff is going to factor in to your judgment as far as what number to use. But you're always going to be a little bit longer in the crown area, always. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, now I have a 1 guard and the clipper is all the way open, and depending on the pattern of the waves, I'm slightly closing it in certain areas, like I said before. But for the most part, like I said, until you're advanced, just keep it that 1 length. Don't try to get tricky with it, because you can mess around and cut some of these waves all the way out, and then who knows, they might want to fight you after that. Just kidding, hopefully not. But yeah, so as you can see, now I'm cutting the top. Same thing with the grain all the way through. Now I'm gonna dust my client off. By the way, this is my boy Jason in the chair. Shout out to him for letting me record, and I don't know if he had something to do that day, but it definitely got postponed a little bit because the haircut took a little longer than usual, being that I had to record and make sure everything's perfect. So now we're gonna go ahead and get into the tapering portion. I'm starting off with my wall reflection seniors, 5-star seniors. Pretty much the same thing as a 5-star seniors, just the reflection, different casing. For those that don't know, the noobs out there anyways. First I got my blade all the way open, clippers all the way open, and then I go ahead and close it right there and I knock out that bottom line. And then I move on down to where it connects to the beard. Then I put on a 1/16 plastic guard by wall, and I have my clipper adjusted all the way open. I go up one step, roughly a 1/2 inch, and then I go ahead and close it. I come back down and close it and knock out that light little line that I created from that guideline. And so now my next step is putting a number 1 plastic guard on my wall senior, starting off with the clipper all the way open, then going back and forth and blending with the clipper closed. So pretty much at this point I'm just kind of freestyling it, and then after this I go on to the number 1.5 and do the same thing. And really at this point I'm just using the corner technique as well and just making sure that it all blends out perfectly. As you can see in this video, he has really light temple areas, so I got to do my best to bring that taper up and make sure that it matches up with the light area and make sure that it's blended into that. And so basically guys, that's what makes a good barber, is not necessarily being able to cut people with perfectly good hair. I always say this, but making people with not so desirable hair look perfect. And so yeah, I'm just continuing to blend until I get that desired look. Just got to keep working it. Going back with my wall senior, clipper all the way closed, using the corner technique and just lightly blending little dark spots, little areas that I feel like could be touched up. That's really on you guys. Once your steps are complete, you got to go back and pretty much do your touch-up work. That's what I like to call it. Now I'm blending in the beard, starting off with the clipper all the way open, lightly using the corners to blend, closing ever so slightly, and continuing to blend the beard out. And then we're gonna go ahead and get into shaping the beard, just lightly, nothing crazy. It's just lightly hitting the scragglers, just to make the beard look nice and presentable. Right here, I'm just lightly touching the top of the beard. I know that when I come back with my straight edge razor, I can pretty much define that beard a lot more. So I just, a lot of times, oh crap, my dog's barking. Yeah, a lot of times, hopefully you guys don't hear that in there, but yeah, a lot of times I don't even like to go too crazy with the trimmer. I'll just come back with my blade and really get it sharp with that, because it's almost like if you're going to use your trimmers and your trimmers are already really sharp, then when you go to use your blade, then it's like the skin's already kind of been taxed a little bit just from how sharp your edges are hitting. So it's kind of like just touch it up a little bit real quick with the trimmer, and then come back with your blade and really define it with that. It's probably the better way to do it. Especially for people that have really sensitive skin, you definitely don't want to go too hard with the trimmers. Alright, so pretty much at this point I'm just repeating the same exact steps as I did on the other side, and I'm just tapering it up. Same exact steps, you guys. give or take a few little minor adjustments, but pretty much same steps. I start off with the half senior all the way open, then I close it, blend out that bottom line, then go up with the 16th halfway open, then come back with the clipper closed, blend that line out, then go up with the 1 and then the 1.5, and it's pretty much the same exact steps. Right now I'm just kind of bouncing around and freestyling. Here we are at the neck taper portion. I'm starting off with my cordless seniors, clipper all the way closed, starting my first guideline. Next step, I have a 1/16 guard on, my clipper is adjusted to all the way open. Start that first bar, guideline, whatever you want to call it. Usually keep them anywhere from a 1/2 inch, no more than 1 inch for sure, but usually around a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch bars, 1/4 inch guidelines. Now I take the guard off and I blend out that second piece. And to be honest with you guys, now that I think about it, my camera did turn off at that point, so I think I missed a step, but no big deal. I think you guys are still getting what I'm doing. Now I have a number 1, clipper all the way open. Now I have my senior adjusted with the 1, clipper all the way closed, lever all the way closed rather. Just continue to blend, brush the hair away when needed so you can see exactly what you're doing. And as you can see right there, the guard changed, and that guard would be a number 1.5. And right here at this point, I'm pretty much just freestyling it, going from open to close and brushing the hair back down, brushing those waves down. I really try to keep my blends always way below the occipital bone. And in this case, this is more of like a higher taper, so it's okay as long as it's blended, but you definitely don't want to take the taper up too high in the back. And there's those masters with some minor cleanup work right before I get into the lineup of the nape area. Now I'm lining up the neck region. Make sure you pull that ear back, especially if you got super sharp clippers like I do. Gotta have that light touch. Same thing on this side. Make sure that you pull that ear down. Make sure that you don't push that hairline in too far. because clients do not like that regrowth. They definitely do not. You might think, oh, it's just on their neck, it's all good. I could crisp it out as much as I want. I could push it back as much as I want. They're not gonna see it. As long as my haircut looks crispy on Instagram, it's all good. But nah, people definitely go home. You think that they're not checking, but they're checking their cuts when they get home, okay? So make sure you're not doing that. All right. Again, make sure you got that ear pulled down. Perfect it. We're getting to that front line. Switching up the trimmers. In this case, I am using my Andis T-outliners, cordless. I love these. I got a GTX blade on here, 0 gapped. And in this client's case, my buddy Jason's hairline is a little hard, a little tricky. So one side you gotta put, you have to push up just a little bit because the other side is just naturally a lot higher. So you gotta kind of push one side up, and then you have to kind of try to get your client that has hairline like this, you got to try to get them to possibly grow out the other side, and then you just got to work with it. And once you're able to do stuff like that, you'll get clients that really love you, and they definitely will take care of you for being able to give them their look that they're trying to achieve. Or you could just be the regular barber that just wops everybody's hairline, just pushes it back and doesn't even care, and just get that quick, easy money. Or you could be the barber that cares, like your boy, Timeless Vick. Also, real quick, guys, I want to give my brother Danny a shout out. He goes by Producer 3D on Instagram. I'm going to leave his link in the description. If any of you barbers out there are interested in getting beats for your videos, make sure you hit him up. He's got super dope beats. He's been doing it for a long time. And so, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put his information in the description so you can get at him. Also, he's a super dope barber, and you can expect him on YouTube pretty soon here. He's a little shy, but he's got way too much bars to be acting shy with all that. So we got to get the rest of the team on board as well. Time to shut it down, timeless barber style. Now I'm finishing the haircut off using my straight edge razor. Notice I'm stretching the skin, and I'm using the heel and the toe portion of my blade to make sure, especially on the hook area and going down the side of the face, you want to make sure that you use using your razor at an angle so that you can make sure you get that good curvature around that beard and going into what I call the hooks. If you notice, I'm holding my razor at a 45-degree angle. As long as you stretch that skin, you should have no problem not nicking your client. But if you don't stretch it, that's where you're gonna run into problems as far as nicking people and whatnot. And that pretty much wraps up the haircut. Here's one final spin, one last look, and that's another satisfied customer. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have a blessed and abundant day. Peace.